He's going to lane pretty decently against the Viper.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, the escape mechanism definitely helps Weaver in this matchup, if it is Weaver versus the Viper.
Yeah, like you have to imagine that at this point. I think they'll be able to swap the Weaver around, but it's like it'll be decent.
Yeah.
It's most likely just a death profit though. It's more that you need to pick your other heroes so that, especially later in the game, a Weaver is not going to be the most bothered by a Viper. He's going to cross a distance. He's going to apply the minus armor. It's going to be nice. And yeah, the problem is that Weaver into Clockwork, if you get cogged, you basically have no choice but to time lapse out. And in the laning stage, that means Clock's a huge problem for you.
Yeah. Well, they're taking their sweet time. Fourth pick. Ursa will be going for BA. When I was thinking the Ursa or the Troll for the Radiant team, then decided to pick up the Ursa for BA instead.
Mm-hmm. I think they had to think about it because Ursa is not amazing at fighting a Weaver, especially not with the Battle Fury build. If you want to fight a Weaver, you want to build an Abyssal Blade on an Ursa, but that's going to be your third item at best. And by that time, presumably, the Weaver has been running rampant for a while, and you'll also build a Lincoln Sphere eventually.
Yeah, it does.
So not the easiest time for an Ursa, but if they think it's strong, they can still pick it up. They can still shred the rest of the Radiant team for sure.
Yeah.
So, in fact, the problem is maybe he gets kited. I can see an Ursa getting kited by this crazy lineup.
Yeah, well, I mean, the idea for Crazy's lineup definitely is mobility. How to fight against the Viper, the best way to do it, because he doesn't have the catch. Nope. All that Viper relies on is slow and damage, and that's basically all that he has, unless you start building into rods or stuff. You can see it in that
puck ban as well, because that's like, hey, you don't get to say we don't run away now. No, we will always run away if we feel that this is a bad fight.
Yeah.
5 seconds remain.
There's a couple of others. You don't get to run away heroes left, although of course Clockwork is pretty decent. It's just very single target. Like, business associates can definitely just rock this Viper mid and put a Mars up. They can still go for I mean, the other offlaners with really big area control are not really that popular right now, like offlane Treant.
Yeah.
They go for the Void Spirit instead. That's also a, hey, stop kiting me, watch here right now.
Well, yeah, their lockdown is limited. Ember is still in the pool. This could be an Ember game for Crazy. Clockwork's nasty. Witch Doctor's slow to get there, but when he does, he's going to be annoying. You might want to think if this Viper doesn't end up being mid, most likely it is, because I think it's Eternal Envy going to be playing Viper, then you don't put the Ember against it. So you can either decide, do we put the Weaver against the Viper, get the DP in easier lane, maybe as a pause 3 for Kezu, for example, and then we put our safe lane Ember, for example.
I think at this point, Brow's pretty locked onto that Death Prophet. It's more the question, like, are we going to do a... Are we maybe swapping the Weaver to support? Is it offlane or carry right now?
Do we see Troll? I don't know if Troll's an answer.
I like Troll. I think he can definitely fight an Ursa. But into a Void Spirit as well, things start getting hairier. And a Viper, there's so many obstacles for the Troll into like actually getting to hit people, and his team is not that great at enabling him in that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely. 20 seconds still here for Crazy in their last pick. Man. So many heroes in my mind right now, but I just don't know, does anything really fit?
How about a Lone Druid?
Oh, completely out of the box.
Well,
Venomancer,
well, hates this.
Yeah, definitely. This is a lane counter for Ursa, and also team fight wise, very nasty to go up against. Yeah, I guess this is a smart choice of action here. Go with the Veno. Make Ursa's life hard.
It's going to be hard all game now. He's just going to get kited left, right, and center. The Void Spirit into this much magical damage, he's also not very happy either. I enjoy this crazy draft. It's a little bit out there, but especially if Kezu gets a good lane and then he gets to tank up a little bit more, it's going to be very hard for business associates to take a fight up into this lineup. And they definitely have two heroes here that like jumping in just from the start, which is the Clockwork and the Void Spirit. And hey, Eternal Envy takes up the Void.
Yes, I was looking at the same. Brax Viper, EE Void. So the Void DP matchup now actually going for Bryle's favor a little bit. And Viper versus the Weaver. Venno versus the Ursa. If these are the picks where, I mean, this is the way the positions are going to be around from both teams, I have a feeling we're going to see a lane swap on either side. Because right now, I feel like Crazy has the better laning matchups on every single lane because of the hero swap between the Void and the Viper. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I can definitely see that happening. The question is if Crazy want to swap as well. I think they're a little bit more, their laners feel a little bit more independent. Like, they'd rather have Moon Meander roaming around and making the difference than, you know, playing musical lanes all the time, losing out on CS, etc.
See you later, nerds.
And let's see if that's actually what they decide to do.
Well, we'll see in just a bit how the lanes are going to start rolling out, but Crazy already ahead by 1 game. They only need another to take this series home, make it 2-0, and knock out BA out of the tournament and secure a spot in the top 4. Not so far away anymore. The winner of this series will be going up against Evil Geniuses in the lower bracket round 3, which is going to be played out.
Poor defense.
Holy moly! Holy moly!
Oh, wait, hang on. Yes, no, yes, no. All right, I'm confused. Just a tiny bit confused with the dates, but never mind. I think it was tomorrow or the day after. But nevertheless, we'll be playing against EG, whoever wins this series. Do you think BA can pull off a tie here?
With this lineup? Yeah, I definitely say that it's in their own hands, but that last pick Venomancer is going to make things hard on them for sure. It all depends on, like, Brax is actually the one that's going to have to deal with the Venno the most. So, let's find out how he gets out of his lane. So far, it is looking to be Ritsu matching up against him in the lane.
Yeah, there's a bit of movement going on here, but it's still looking like no lane swaps are actually taking place. So they are holding the lanes as they are. And we'll see if we were right or correct here, but I have a hunch that, you know, this Ursa can be mean to the Venomancer early on if he pulls off some good moves with the Witch Doctor. The Coconut can make your life hard. Ursa can just follow up and slow down and do a lot of damage, stack up those Fury Swipes. And it's, in most cases, once you have that 1 point in Gale, even that 1 point in Gale, if you get that slow to connect, it means that Ursa's not gonna have the capability of chasing the Venno. But if those Gales miss, that also always provides an opening.
Yeah, I was just looking at the runes a little bit, and it should be 3-for-1 for business associates, but they haven't actually bothered to pick up their last bounty. Maybe hoping that he...
Tactical for EE, I guess.
Yeah, he's not really bottle rushing though.
We'll see. Look, at the moment he is. He's going... Well, not straight up bottle rushing with the starting money.
Yeah.
Of course you need the regen for the lane. But I think it's up to the point where DP's already used up a few Siphon charges and force you out of the lane. So if you still have that rune up there, that will provide you with that extra regeneration, and then just come back into lane, because you need to keep up at this game as well. Ritsu taking a nasty amount of harass here from Snaking and Brax.
Well, exactly at the same time as that Moo gets fissured in and gracefully hops over with that Earth Shock.
Talk about escape mechanisms.
Well, do it again, boy.
Which you'll start to go things off with here. Very high right-click damage for Eternal Envy on this Void Spirit to make this lane somewhat doable for him. The Death Prophet, definitely a nasty hero to go up against in mid, but if any hero can still provide a very good lane and have some impact after that, it's definitely the Void Spirit. Bit of harassment here from Aoi and Ritsu. Viper skipping his second ability. Just knows that there's going to be a lot of harassing going on, so he wants to have that corrosive skin up. And that is your wait. That's your second ward dewarded in the same lane. So Snaking got rid of the Ops ward before, and now their sentry will be taken away by Aoi.
Aoi has a lot of space to pull here if he wants to, but Ritsu can escape.
Yeah, that's one thing. Fear getting harassed a bit by Moon. Yes, who wants to get those early levels at least up and running to have well, he's not actually going to start massing his Plague Wards. You don't really want to do that. Put 1 point in it, but you know Ursa's going to be sitting in this lane for quite some time. He doesn't really care about them that much. You can always just clear them out right away.
Yeah, what you want to do is just basically force Moon to be ferrying in regen all the time while you poison sting him from a distance. Just keep that stuff up. And maybe later on, Moon Meander can pull some creep waves for you as well. He's getting a ward. I'm thinking that he might be gearing up to do exactly that a bit later.
Well, the Bounty Rune is still here to be picked up as EE gets his bottle. So probably once he heads to that first jungle camp to start clearing it, he'll pick it up, get that extra regen for himself in the lane. And the dewarding wards just continue going on. They can't get rid of Snaking's sentry. How he loses his. Meaning that that sentry that was blocking the camp here is now gone, enabling BA to use this hard camp for their side pulls. Meanwhile, Moo's got some creeps under the tower, but he's too late to farm them. Gets one at least.
He was blocked in by another fissure just a little bit
EE. They're trying to contest those 4-minute action runes, but it's not going to be there. Bryl's going to find himself a DD rune. Talk about hard times.
Ooh, and you know, Kezu on top, but yeah, he is too slow to actually go.
Nice
and now
fissure though.
He already used his
They can get this. They can get this Ursa kill, can they? Well, he was baiting him out for a moment that he's gonna go away under the tower, and then he just gets his pathing corrected, jumps over the wall.
Not exactly happy though. He has to rely on Fear's heal now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if Fear can't leave this lane, he's forced to babysit this Ursa, otherwise horrible things are going to start happening. Ritsu dropping very low in this bot lane. 4 stacks of poison, 60 HP remaining. Brax is now declaring dominance over this lane against the Weaver. They are still tied in CS, but a lot of regen has been forced out. Weaver has nothing left. And he's got a walking courier with a bottle.
Well, Eternal Envy never went to pick up his own bounty rune.
Yeah, okay. Well, talk about a missed bounty rune then.
Unfortunate.
That is unfortunate. You're so locked in your lanes that you just missed your team 40 gold per player.
Yikes. He also missed himself a bunch of regen, but if you thought that he didn't need that, then yeah, it's fine.
Well, he picks up at least the second bounty rune. I mean, the wild thing here that is really baffling my mind. Everybody is showing in every single lane. They can't leave the Viper alone in the spot lane, so Snaking couldn't go pick it up. They definitely knew it's still there. Now a fight breaking loose here in bottom. They do get some damage onto the Weaver. Pushed with the cogs. Only 2 stacks of poison. Not enough to kill this Weaver. Forced away at least.
That's what I'm saying. Weaver getting caught in cogs, he is not happy at all.
Oh, still being harassed here. There's not much that Venge can do.
Ritsu brought himself a bottle, but it was actually slightly too late before those new runes came out, so he also only got the charges from base, and now he's sitting on an empty bottle with nowhere to into it. And oh,
Yep.
you're going
Oh.
on for the mid lane?
Exorcism used up. E will use one charge of his ultimate. Jumping backwards. That Exorcism with the catapult doing damage. Bryle can't stand here forever. He's gonna have to give away this catapult here. And now Snaking is nearby. Fear is also moving about.
Snaking's gone on
Go,
Owie.
and they actually find Owie. Yeah, they find the Vengeful Spirit in the river and jump in from Eternal Envy. And just like game one, our first blood 7 minutes into the game. Snaking will fall to Bryle, though. So both mids get a kill. And then at the same time, Brax finds a Weaver kill.
That's not supposed to happen. But yeah, Ritsu is still level 4. He's nowhere near that time lapse. And I'm guessing that... Was there a sentry ward? I don't even see a sentry ward down.
Nope. Or he just got surprised by the Viper throwing in right clicks and thought he could outlive it.
That is tip-worthy. Brax
That
is
is tip-worthy, but
totally
he does for a one. Doesn't get the whole team to follow up because there's so much happening elsewhere. Now Moon Meander will be caught, and Brax will look for a kill, but look at that minus armor. Look at that right-click damage. They will find the Brax kill as well. Tied up 1 for 1. Ritsu still looking to maybe stay around, but Eternal Envy is coming in. Gotta be careful. Stun connecting as well. Trying to go for the clockwork at the same time. Ritsu getting stunned up as well. Ritsu will fall. Level 4 Weaver down for a second time. Eternal Envy picks up his second. And Void Spirit is doing Void Spirit things. And this is exactly what EE needs to be doing.
Yep.
Because it's also pumping up the morale into his team that he can definitely pull off some very good moves with this hero. And this hero is all about the early game here.
Absolutely. You need to make good use of that ridiculous damage peak with your Dissimulate, with the Resonant Pulse. And so far, he's doing a good job. Now Brax has moved to the middle lane, but I don't think he can stop Bryle with his DD from taking down the tower.
He can't. He can try and go for the deny though, but they drop the glyph at the same time. Owie throwing it away with terror. Trying to reveal in the trees that there's a Witch Doctor around as well, and Bryle will get the last hit with the help of Moon Meander. So that is also the mid tower down 9 minutes in.
I'm guessing that they give their lane to Ritsu now. Yeah, he really needs a safe place to farm. Bot lane was definitely not it. He goes into Brax. Ritsu, what are you doing?
And at the same time, even though Ritsu goes down, Moo has been forced under the tower at the same time. And Moon Meander will go down to Snaking, so that's a double kill for the Clockwork. Positive things happening on... positive things happening on BA's side now that they're punishing Crazy for the mistakes that they're doing here.
Absolutely. Like, I see no way for a player like Ritsu, who has, like, up until this point been very stable and reliable, to go into the Viper, who has been giving him such a hard lane like that. They're gonna lose their bot tower now as well.
Well, they get the tower trade.
Yeah, it's a trade. It's okay, but you did use your exorcism for that, and for the side of business associates, it was just walking up. And if BA controls this Radiant jungle now, and you can see by the wards that that's what they want to do, they're going to have both ancient camps for Moo. So it's going to be very hard.
There's a hook shot in the bottom lane. They will find the Shaker. An instant TP coming in from Kezu. And he's trying to intervene. The Gale is there. The Clockwork will fall first. And Moo unable to follow up on that. And your aggression play has been punished. Meanwhile, Owie will be found in the jungle. So they will find a support. Maledict is there. Coconut in the face. Brax will just keep on throwing poison attacks. We'll take him down as well.
Yeah, Snaking went in without any mana for his cogs there. He thought that Battery Assault alone would be enough to take Moon Meander down, but not this time.
Only 10 kills for 10 minutes of gameplay. 1 kill per minute average right now. Proving to be some good things in the time to come. Fear drops down a sentry as well. Ritsu, feel like he might actually even know about this, but Moo trying to force that time lapse. Fear's there. Coconut will connect, but is it going to be enough? Maledict is there as well. Witch Doctor ultimate, they do! They have it.
Oh, that pass bounce.
And at the same time, bottom lane, they find the hook shot onto Moon. Get themselves 2 kills on the board. All of this while Bryle's exorcism is on the cooldown. So BA, talking about last game, couldn't...
You called him Brax now too.
Oh, okay, my bad. Brawl. So what I'm saying here is with the ultimates, basically, it felt like a same kind of repeat. We get the first blood in like 7-8 minutes. We get the dire tier 1 tower taken down first, but it's actually business associates who are getting the most out of this because they have the tools to fight against Crazy when their ultis are down.
Well,
And Brax, well, this is not the place to be in. They always say there's a time and place for everything, but Brax, this is definitely not your moment. I will lose the Viper and a big pick here.
Counter movement coming though.
Oh, Echo Slam used up. He's got a regen in his bottle though. He tried to deny it away from him, but it's not going to happen. He just backs away. Very interesting Echo Slam.
Yeah, there's always nowhere near enough to give any follow-up, so unfortunately wasted slam there.
What do you think about this Fear Witch Doctor Necronomicon?
Honestly, I like it. This is a Midas, except you actually get something out of it as a support. Because with a Midas, attack speed doesn't do anything for you, but the double Sage's Mask and then the Belt of Strength, they definitely tank you up, give you mana regen, and with this Necrobook, they're going to be able to push out waves without really showing on any heroes.
Yeah.
I like it, and Fear is going to definitely get some extra farm out of that.
All I can say is I hope that they decide to do something about that Necronomicon, because it's an item that's supposed to drain the mana from your opponent, not give you mana. That mana regen is really making the huge difference in that entire item.
Oh, definitely. Fear can just walk around with brown boots and a Necrobook. Why not?
Yeah.
And I have been waiting to see people actually pick up Necrobooks on, let's say, crazier heroes than just the pop. But I gotta say, I did not expect it on a boss 5 Witch Doctor first. Oh,
me neither.
Ritsu?
The reason why I was thinking about it. Maledict used on Ritsu. Fear's alone here for now. Aoi will be right next to him. We got the Vengeful Spirit bodyguarding that this Weaver doesn't suffer death number 5. Trying to keep that top wave pushed in, and you can see BDA's heroes are everywhere else scattered around this mid-bottom area. Just farming up and picking up scraps.
Yep. Like, Kazuo, because he is so dang hard to engage into, he has been holding this bottom side. He has been farming the Ancients himself as well, so that has been denied to you. And I think right now business associates are going to do something about it. Hook shot.
There's also 800 gold here for the Blink Dagger to be up as Kazu pops his ultimate here. Snaking found him in the trees. He will have an easy job finishing this hero off and gets the damage. Now they also get the TP's top, but Fear once again uses Coconut and his Maledict, but no teammate can make it in time to help him out. They won't get themselves a kill, but at least they cancel the push attempts in this top tower.
Ritsu's being a thorn in their side right now, and who I'm waiting on to make the next move is Bryle. He's got his Yule Scepter, he's ready to fight, got an ultimate as well that he hasn't used in a while, and he walks uphill.
Had it for a while and moves there, snaking, fighting with some DP illusions here. Trying to contest the 15-minute bounties, but not going to make it. Aoi actually denies one of the bounties away with a right click.
Surprising. Well, I guess he couldn't see that he wasn't in any risk there, but...
He saw the clockwork moving around in that direction, so...
He's low, though. You have Bryle sitting right next to you.
You don't see the rest of their team, though. Don't know if it's a trap. 15 minutes is a pretty common time to stack up and go and look at the enemy. Now, Ritsu gets the Crab Orchestra. The Fissure followed up as well. Fear gets the Maledict and the stun, but there's a time lapse right away. And Fear was waiting for him to use it, and Fear's ulti just goes down the drain. It's a commendable effort, though.
He's used that ultimate several times to hold Ritsu off now, and I guess this time Ritsu get the better of him. But by the time that Ritsu's pushed back up to the tower, Fear's also back up again. They can go like this for, well, not hours, but
Wow, gets the Yules. He might get the silence as well into the Void Spirit. No, he misses it, and Eternal Envy gets the Dissimulate away from Bryle. If that silence did connect, it could have led to an opening to maybe kill the Void Spirit, because Venge was coming in as well, but they lost track of him instantly. Minor mistakes costing a kill.
Battle Fury is up for Moo.
Only 300 gold missing from that Blink Dart on the Shaker. Moon and Ritsu have made camp here in this top lane. They're not moving away from this tier 2. Fear's also just been sitting here waiting for something. Keeping away the Weaver. Doesn't want to allow that free tower to fall. And now Snaking and Brax are coming in, but they have been scouted. They've been seen. So now it's finally time to repel the invaders from the top lane.
Yeah, Moonmiana and Ritsu are pulling up camp right now. Like, alright, fine. We'll get out, but is it a fake?
Definitely a
Brawl
nice
smoked?
weather for a little summer camping, but let's see. Snaking Brack's gonna walk into Brawl, and now they get that flare, but you don't see that they're already there. Two-man silence. Ultimate from Brawl as well. There's the heal coming in from Brax as well. The Guardian Cruise will remove it, and there's a Maladin coming in as well. The Yules will use by the Death Prophet to keep himself in the air, and Ritsu has to go for the late call on his ultimate, but he will save his life. Ritsu, 2 heroes down. Brax is also falling, and Snaking is still alive in the trees. Ritsu not able to find the clockwork in the right spot. So they have everything still up, but the DP low on HP. They don't want to risk the exorcism going low under the tower, because these 2 heroes can still do a lot of good moves. Ritsu finds Eternal Envy, finds them in the inside the tree lines. They find Snaking. They want to take down this clockwork, but at the same time, Ritsu getting silenced up, and Eternal Envy will get the kill. It will punish him for diving that deep in. Clockwork goes home, but now they get the siege onto this tier 2 tower. Meanwhile, at the same time, Moo is farming in the bottom lane, and Crazy are actually giving up the push. They see everybody's coming back alive, but nobody's coming to actually defend this tower. They're just walking around inside the base.
Ritsu was not ready for Eternal Envy to get that Aghanim Scepter delivered to him. We saw him before, no Ags. Goes in. Oh no, that's a silence. That's a death. It's just not his game.
It was a perfect 2-man silence as well that just came out from Brawl there.
Oh yeah.
And the funny thing is that Crazy both saw the rotations coming in and got the jump onto Business Associates, thanks to the help of the smoke. Like, these 2 ops wards here right next to each other's. But obviously you're not going to see them coming in, but you see your enemy almost the whole time moving around in this area, which allowed this whole fight to happen, because they saw them coming there. They immediately called in, we're going to rotate, let's make things happen. And it takes like maybe 25 seconds, and we got a fight breaking loose, and BA undermanned. No Ursa for that fight either.
Don't think they're upset though. Like, they didn't lose the tower because Brow was too low. They don't really, like, there's no need for the Ursa to come back. There's no disasters looming. So Moo's still farming up. They don't lose any gold lead here. And especially if Ritsu keeps having as rough of a game as he is right now, Moo is profiting off of this slowdown of the push, because Brawl had really big gaps where he didn't use his ultimate. Kezu has mostly been farming, and he's ready to, he's going to buy Guardian Greaves very soon.
Yeah. And
then his team can properly start sustained pushing, but they don't have the damage behind them. And Moo is going to be really big. That's Samantha style coming up. He's going to have that in no time.
That is the thing, that Crazy has not addressed the Ursa problem that is still looming in the air. How do they deal with this hero? How do they isolate him? Somebody has to keep the Ursa in check. Who does that? It's like when you're most of the times when you're playing against like either Ursa or Weaver, you have that one guy who's gonna get chased by him. It's also yep. even in Bristleback games, someone has to take the bullet, but who's it gonna be? We know that you're not gonna be doing anything, but you're drawing him away from the fight, buying the rest of us time to make things happen. You're gonna die, but we're gonna try and make things happen during that time you are sacrificing your life.
Feeling good, man.
The Ursa has better catch, though, so that's one thing you need to take into consideration, that this Ursa can make big things happen. The Manta is also there to be able to dispel most of the stuff, and also dodge some of the abilities that are going to kick in. Dodging bench stuns, does a silence from DP, removing it. We've also got the Veno debuffs as well. Get rid of some of them.
Yeah, I can see why he's not going for a BKB this game. It's especially if he's thinking about moving into more um what do you call it again? Debuff resist? I'm just blanking right now.
Status
Status
resistance, I
resist.
guess. I
There we
mean,
go. Yes.
yeah, technically the same thing in a sense, because it does reduce the duration of debuffs on you. At least the direct crowd controls.
Like, I still think that if Crazy play the fights right, they are going to be able to get this Ursa.
Hmm.
But that depends on execution. That's not inherent in their lineup. So it's going to matter a lot where and how they take any fights. As for business associates, I think they're much more free to just run at their opponents once this Ursa says, I have enough money, I have enough items, let's just put the pedal to the metal.
Yeah. Well, we're 18 minutes in game one. Game two. Game one already went for Crazy. Looking to go for a 2-0. Still very even game. Anybody can take over this one. Still got to worry about the power that Crazy can bring out into the late game. With this Battle Fury Ursa, you definitely have a fighting chance. You've got Void Spirit, who is also really good. Viper does fall off. That's why you always go for the physical damages, or then you just go for this aura machine, utility machine, and you just have a lot of abilities for you. A lot of stuff to buff up your team and yourself and disable enemies.
I definitely think that Crazy runs out of damage in the mid to late game. Unless this Weaver starts playing Immaculate right now, he is the only right click damage dealer, and he is not doing well right now. Once any BKBs come up, say on Brax, for example, or on Eternal Envy, it's going to be so hard to actually kill any of those heroes.
Yep. Oh well,
hey, is it just me, or did Fear back off from the Necro book? I would have loved to.
He had it there for a second, so it might be that he's just queued up the Spirit Vessel and he forgot that he's still missing the recipe. maybe you know, we're talking about a tiny brain fart maybe in this case, but he knows that the Necro book is going to be up in like the next creep that he kills, basically. I mean, one thing we could actually look at, as we're still sitting in a pause, we could take a look at the neutral items. And one thing that is a bit worrying to me is Fear's holding on to nothing when there's an arcane ring. There's a shovel, which you could definitely pick up. Get those free healing items for yourselves. Maybe a casual bounty rune, which is something that I would like to see them have. Then we have on the Crazy team side, the neutral items. The only one without one is Aoi, so that's understandable that the pause 5s on both sides don't have their neutral items picked up. There are a lot of good things that can still drop in the jungle, especially when we start talking the tier 3s later on. That's still quite far away, but those items can be really big in terms
Clumsy
of like
net for either team.
Clumsy net's one thing. We have Clumsy net already for Brawl.
Ah, yeah.
So that's tier 2, but we're talking Paladin swords, in some cases Titan slivers, the telescope, which can be a massively big item for these pause 5s who are right now missing an item. So telescopes could definitely be a thing to go for if it drops.
The telescope would feel a little bit wasted on the Radiant side, I'd say, just because they don't need that much extra range. But Viper would absolutely love to have that. Yeah.
And long range silences for DP?
Sure, Weaver's always going to have to rely on his escapability to get out either way.
Yeah.
Like 100 extra distance for his ranged right click is going to do that much for him.
But at least you can sometimes see that the 75 cast range talents in some heroes can feel like it doesn't seem like a lot, but sometimes it's like this is the crucial one step on my high ground to get that spell out without my character pathfinding in the wrong direction.
Oh yeah, it can put you behind a tree. It can, you know, make you able to actually position yourself in just an awkward spot for your enemy to reach. It's never going to be the difference between life and death if they really want you, but you can definitely make it much harder for them.
Yep. And Eternal Envy has reconnected to the game. Coming back on Discord, go signs. Let's get this game rolling once again. We're very sorry about this long pause, but you know, things happen. And we can get this game underway. Essence Ring. Oh yes, for the DP. This is good. This is good stuff.
Thank you, my beauties indeed.
Admin is admin's mad and like
there's been a lot of pauses in this series, but again, at the very least, nobody's house was on fire.
Yeah. Ooh, Aquila drops as well. That's just looks like it. Well, okay, Viper's already holding on to a Vambrace, and Viper has queued up 5 mirror shields. You would love to have a tier 5 neutral item 19 minutes in the game, wouldn't you? Yeah.
It looks very pretty though.
Did we get the Necro book on the Witch Doctor? Recipe. Wait.
No.
No?
He's now got a vitality booster too.
Yeah.
This man is just hoarding random items at this point.
Alright, he's like, I'm gonna go power treads with this belt of strength, and could go Necro book, but I'm also thinking about maybe a casual soul booster here with the vitality booster, you know.
At the very least, he's very tanky right now. He's got a lot of mana regen.
He is. He's got the regen that he needs. We were talking about the Necro book, which is the mana regen, but the double
item slot usage.
Exactly, the double Sage's Mask is just so good. That's why I'll always want to start with at least 1, maybe even 2 for a laying stage, because Hetrises and Basiliuses are no longer the worth item to go for when you start the game. You want to get that regen and then you build into those. Eternal Envy, you have to back away. The Blink Dagger will be shown by Moon Meander. Won't be able to catch that one. Ursa also mixes out.
Into a BKB.
Yeah.
I was kind of doubting that Mantis style, and it's good to see that he's actually done that.
It's not a bad idea, but he could technically go Sanjin Yasha, but I don't know. Is that the way that he wants to pull out this game? He could put the stat resistance, but is the status resistance really going to be that useful for the Ursa this game? Because, you know, maybe the BKB just drives the same thing. You want to have either one.
Crazy smoked up around this Moon Meander Blink Dagger.
They're looking for E. They're looking for E. And he's used this to similar. He's used one charge assault. He doesn't have another one. Echo Slam from Moon Meander. Do they have the damage? Yes, they should have. They should have the damage to take down the Void Spirit. They even cancel the teleports coming to the top, but no, they don't. He gets this to assimilate off as well, and he just dukes his way out. Eternal Envy pops the Exorcism from the enemy, and the Echo Slam, and this absolute unit of a man gets back home safe. Talk about profit.
That was... I gotta say, that was...
And a hookshot in the mid lane. They find Ritsu as well. Fear gonna follow up the coconut's not quite gonna connect because he's too far away to follow up any other abilities on this one, but at the same time, Crazy forced to back away. They do get the top tier 2 tower in the end without Exorcism, but they know it is on cooldown right now. Ursa, if he gets super lucky and he gets the money to get that BKB when that next fight is about to break loose, but they don't have the Exorcism. Brax already says, no, we're gonna fight right now. We're gonna go for it. Ritsu will be found with the stun. Snake King finds him as well. The dust is there as well. The time lapse has everything's been used already. They just... Where did he go? The only thing that's remaining is just a pond of blood. They're going straight for Roshan as well. Business Associates. They're going to go straight for Roshan from here. The hell are you going to do against these guys?
And it looked so good.
At Snake
just
King.
For a little bit.
Hookshot's ready. Eternal Envy going jumping. He's gonna harass this Vengeful Spreader. He doesn't have to overextend because they're already starting Roche. They're doing damage. Smoked up Viper as well. The Echo Slam is no longer available. Moon trying to look for the fissures. Throws it into the pit, but it's clockwork. All he needs to do, pop the cog somewhere to just keep Crazy away from themselves. And Eternal Envy will jump in the buck. He will go onto Aoi. And Aoi makes his way out. Brax still keeping the chase. The Age has already picked up on the Ursa. Crazy know that we've lost this timing here. We did too many mistakes. We're going to lose our Vengeful Spirit. The hook shot from Snake King. And there we go. Eternal Envy here to collect the kill. 6-0-0 Void Spirit. Ooh, I finally feel alive again as Business Associates are bringing it up.
Kezu playing with fire here.
Nice fissure from Moon. They are blocking Fear and Brax. They can't really move out of there for now. They're going to have to wait for the duration to run out. Nobody around to help them, though. Ritsu's in the bottom area. Bryle in the mid lane. Exorcism is up on the positive side, so they can maybe do something happen, but they also want to get rid of that Aegis without actually having to fully commit.
Yeah, so the damage problems are already here. We saw that at the attempt on Eternal Envy in the top lane. The fact that without Ritsu they can't kill, it's very clear, and they can't hold him into the Exorcism for long enough. And now I think with a couple of extra items up, they're coming in.
Smoke coming up. They didn't go for the crazy smoke, but instead Business Associates, they will find Aoi once again in the top lane, and it's Eternal Envy throwing out the damage. The taunt from the Remnants as well. Brax is there to follow up with the damage. They find the pick off, and that will also open up that tier 1 tower for them to take.
Snaking still wants Bryle.
Yoink.
That's a risky kill though, with the tier 1 tower so close by.
Ritsu trades the bot tier 1 tower at the same time. Sanj and Yasha very close on this Weaver. He needs that extra tankiness to survive these fights right now. It's being a nuisance for him that he's being controlled all over. Not even a BKB might be enough to save his game here. He is doing a lot of damage onto these buildings though, because he gets that push into the bot tier 2 tower. Kezu's got to be careful though, because Brax is right behind the corner. Hook shot from Snaking. Cogs inside. Veno held in it as well. They've got a TP coming in from Aoi, and he's trying to go for the defensive swap as well, and he manages to get it off. Kezu will live, and Snaking is gonna go down. It was so close that they would have found the kill there, but it's not going to happen. Ritsu finds Fear, but they also find Brax. Fear goes for the TP away, and now it's only 2 heroes versus 5 right now. Business Associates, they can actually survive this one because that friendly fissure is also blocking your teammates.
That was unfortunate. And who gets the mid tower out of that? That was a big thorn in Business Associates' side. The fact that they could back each other up so fast on the Radiant, but not anymore. Mid tower's down. And now they can really start amping up the pressure.
Ryle's going to be the bait in the mid lane. Oh, really fast fingers with the Yules, but the taunt will come out as well at the same time. Jumping on, and BKB will be popped by Bryle. 10-second BKB by the looks of it. Yes, it is. So that is a very big cooldown put away by Business Associates. Crazy are just going to have to ponder on this situation. What do we do now? That Aegis Ursa is starting to cause a bit of problems for them.
Well, one of the things that they can do that if they looked at what their fellow North Americans pulled off on the side of 4 Zoomers, I keep forgetting that name, is that you can threaten the top lane, especially if you have a Death Prophet who still has her Exorcism ready. You can pull people back to the top lane by threatening the base. And this is what they might have to resort to.
Can they get to the Void this time? Brax is around in the mid as well. Kazu's there, keeping an eye open.
Now too.
Yeah, he used that Yules before in the top lane to get the Remnant to follow up on that. So yeah, he does have his defensive capability on top with the Aghanims.
You can't kill E right now, basically. You have to fissure or echo slam him out of fog, otherwise he's always going to...
Well, they tried. They tried Exorcism, they tried Echo Slam, they couldn't kill him. See if that's gonna happen again. Crazy are trying to fight them from the left side of the mid lane. Top wave has been pushed in as well, so Weaver is playing the rat game in a sense. Like the only option that they can go for right now is go for a soft engage with BA while Ritsu goes for the push and tries to get objectives down. You can't do it forever, so you got to start doing it now, like he's been doing, hitting tier 2s, taking down tier 1 towers, and constantly just living in the lanes and giving pressure there. And BA are just like, man, we just want to fight. We just want to fight. The Aegis expires. They're going to go for a smoke, and they're holding the high ground position on the left, so they can't go there. And there's also a smoke coming in. They calculated 5 minutes has passed, and now we're going to go look for you guys. Ritsu on the high ground. They see him. Snaking's going to walk in. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Can he get the hook shot? It's going to be a pretty blind one as well. Does he get it? Can't see him. He can't see him. Rocket Flare off the point, and Eternal Envy's in trouble. All of his teammates are inside the jungle. Can they save the Void this time? He will get saved by sneaking hook shots onto him, but they make their way out. They're all backing away. They're clustered up. Echo, no, Echo Slam. He could have actually got a lot of damage out of it. Now he goes for the swap. He gets his friend back to safety. He's like, why did you not press the R button on your keyboard? God damn it! And they will lose him. They will lose the Vengeful Spirit, and they're still staying around. That Exorcism, it's gone halfway now. Snaking takes the bait in the front. He's going to lose his life for it, but he also buys time for his teammates to back away from that Exorcism. Moon throws another fissure onto the Viper, but they can't go further from here. Excellent clockwork play there to sacrifice your life to close the choke point, keep them away.
Yeah, Brawl felt so awkward standing on that stairs for half of the fight with his Exorcism on. He's like, well, do I go in? Do I go out? Do I stay here? I don't want to stay here. But he had to.
Titan Sliver on the Ursa. Oh yeah, and he's gonna go for an Abyssal Blade as well. This is like the situation just keeps him turning more and more grim for Crazy.
This Abyssal is going to wreak havoc. Ritsu, he's not even going for a Linkings yet. He is going to get destroyed by this.
He's just ratting. Meanwhile, Moon Meander, life almost taken. Maledict used up into the air by Eternal Envy. Brax with the right clicks. Shaker will lose his life here, and Business Associates will get their push going on. They're looking at the bot lane at the same time. Okay, interesting Earthshock there. Nothing to see there. The problem that they have here is they don't exactly have the best tower damage. You're good at, if they can get several kills, if they get Roshans and stuff, they can put Ursa in the front. They can roll around by having the Clockwork go in. They can have the Void Spirit go in. They have so many ways of fighting them, but their tower damage is bad. Completely honest, the tower damage is bad.
It's especially because Prax does not have a damage build.
Ritsu, alright. They're gonna lose the Weaver, but can they get something in return for it? Fear trying to make his way out. Dropping low, still standing in the Nether Toxin, but it's a friendly Nether Toxin, but Bryle's just taking a lot of damage from move with that BKB popped up, and he will slam down Aoi. And we'll also find Kezu's Venomancer. Very, very slowed up, and he's going to drop a gem. He's going to drop a gem as well. Move, one more jump, slapping in, and that's it. He takes the gem. Very, very costly here. Ritsu was killed in this jungle by Eternal Envy, and by the looks of it, was it Snaking who was there as well?
Oh man, that starts the fight off on completely the wrong foot. And you can see that Brawl is just holding on to that Exorcism. He needs to keep that. He needs to keep the threat, but that also means that as long as Business Associates don't engage fully, they can just feel free to do whatever they want to the side of Crazy, because there's not enough damage. And I'm gonna keep riding that horse until the end of the game right now. There is not enough damage.
Moon is also gonna pick up a Yules this game. I still, like, I would have loved to see him do that Echo Slam, but I think that they were just a tiny bit too apart from each other's that he didn't want to go for it. He started channeling Enchant Totem, or maybe he pressed the wrong Q button and didn't get the Echo off and instead had his Enchant Totem go first. But I don't know, but it was too late at that point, so, you know, Venge had to sacrifice his life in that fight. But you can't do mistakes like that again. I mean, I guess you can do it until you find the best fight. Because, you know, Echo Slam is still a very huge component of team fighting. Oh no, not like this. BKB pop. Moon's right behind him. Moo is there. Abyssal Blade holding the DP in place, dropping very low on HP. Swap coming in from Aoi. Gets a bit of extra distance. Eternal Envy wants to keep up the pressure. They will take down one hero. 4 versus 5. Ritsu also still hanging around in that bottom lane. Wants to get some tower damage onto the tier 2.
And this is where the choke starts getting problematic for the side of Crazy. They had some aggressive vision left in the top lane before, but they just weren't in a position where they could exploit it at all. And now Ritsu is just going at this bottom tower on his own, trying to chip away, but he has no vision. And this tower is also still half health. If he wants to force people back, he needs to get to the base tower, and there's no way he's getting there.
Yep, the last time he went there, he was killed by exactly these two business gentlemen here, Yi and Snaking. Ritsu's definitely feeling the pressure. He's died 7 times this game. He's not really feeling himself right now in this game.
Snaking just flared the exact spot where Ritsu was waiting before. They might still find him.
Yep, they find him. Hook shot.
First.
And Shaker's an easy pick off to start things off with, and they'll be happy with it.
He's going from bad to worse. Moo can just walk up this high ground like he owns it, because let's face it, as soon as he's out there, he does.
Well, they can only just try and dodge for a limited amount of time. Time is slowly running out. EE coming in. Are they ready for this? Can they take this?
Be on Brawl before
BKB teleport out. Okay. Okay, Ritsu takes down Snaking's courier. 4 clarities going with it. Howie will die, and that's a godlike Eternal Envy now.
His man has been very aggressive throughout this entire game.
Shaker. Okay, very aggressive play from Moon Meander. Goes for the 2-man stun. Kezu and Brawl are both here. No BKB on the DP, but happy to go for an Echo Slam used on the Witch Doctor for absolutely 0 damage.
They're so
It's
tanky
like
with a full vessel.
It's like a fart in the goddamn desert. He doesn't even feel it.
And no exorcism committed. Ritsu isn't there either, so no damage. I got a feel for Brawl. He knows he has to hold it. I know he has to hold it. We're both just looking on as his supports keep dying because he can't do it before they come for his high ground. And business associates, so you're high ground.
Well, hello, Weaver. Remember the last time we saw in this area of the jungle? Remember what happened back then? Oh, yeah, I remember. You died. You died again. 10-0. When are we going to get the GG call? This is not looking good for Crazy.
They still have the hopes of getting a big turnaround team fight, and I can't fault them. They have an Earthshaker. They still have a Venomancer with a Poison Nova. They have Exorcism. I can see why they're saying let them play it out. Come on. Make a mistake, business associates. We know you can do that. But it's 100% not in their hands anymore. I completely agree with that.
We're entering the stage of the game where you're either going to start turtling or you start doing the hope so plays where you just smoke up and try to find something even though you don't know what you're actually even looking for at that point.
I'm just watching Aoi get, messed.
Yep. Well, he's dead. Oh. Go straight for the Death Prophet, and Brawl is in trouble. Pops the Essence Ring, the ultimate is being slowed down by so much, and Moo has an easy time. This combo definitely works. Even if you pop your BKB, the Viper ulti's on you, you're slowed up so much that Ursa can just walk up next to you and start chewing all of your ribs and your limbs and everything right there. And Moo on the high ground, going straight towards that tier 3 tower. No exorcism for 60 seconds. EP cannot afford her buyback. Jeez, too many 100 golds. Too many 100 golds. Can you even say it that way?
That's going to cost in their mid-racks. No, I'm afraid that's not even.
Well, at least, yeah. Look at this. Look at this. This is torment. This is nightmare. This is an absolute horrendous play. Man, I feel so bad for Ritsu, and I can only imagine, is he saying anything right now, or is he just staring at his screen, losing all hope to live? Because it's always the same guys. It's always the same 2 guys just hunting him down over and over again around the map. And Moo can do whatever the hell he wants. He's got a Satanic on this Ursa, BKB, he's got an Aegis as well, and you've seen him practice how to jump over these fissure walls for quite some time. Another disarm coming in from Kezu, and Moo's like, I'm gonna wait it out and walk in, and now Brawl pops the ultimate, and this is the final defense. This is the last defense, and if Moon Meander can do something about it, it's a huge Echo Slam, but let's see if it's gonna pull off. Is it gonna do anything? Their heals are coming in onto the Ursa. He's back. Kezu taken down. Kezu coming from the buyback as well, deeping in the middle of everybody, and Moo's just waiting for him. Oh no! Oh my god! Oh.
were waiting for this fight for 50 minutes. And Mu abyssals it.
If there's
bad,
any
man.
lower, I can sit down in my chair and rub my eyes. Oh my. Well, it was a hopeless situation.
It was.
Had to do something. Had to do something in a hard place. Business Associates tying up the series. We have a 1-1 score, and we are definitely not over with this best of 3 series. Kips, primary thoughts?
Primary thoughts? Business Associates went for a team where they couldn't really make any plays to a lineup where they definitely could. Really enjoyed Eternal Envy on this 11-0-1. Look at that. He doesn't even have any assists, this man. He's just like, you know what? All the kills I went for, they were mine. Played up beautifully with Snaking, who I think this guy played a great Clockwork game. He was everywhere where he needed to be. He made it so awkward for the side of Crazy to fight. And yeah, then it's just to move to mop up the pieces afterwards.
That is true. 2 heroes with 11 kills and 0 deaths, Eternal Envy and Mu. I have to say, Snaking Eternal Envy are quite looking like the dynamic duo. And since game 1 didn't really go well for them, I think we really have to give it down to Eternal Envy that he definitely improved from game 1 in here. And Business Associates looking more like a united team. Crazy, I don't think they really are missing anything. It's just that they ran out of time. They couldn't execute the way, and BA is living on the momentum. Do they have the momentum for game 3? We'll find out after the break.